Vampire Weekend makes their long-awaited return while Florence and the Machine surprises fans with unexpected new music. I'll take a look at the latest new singles from both of those acts coming up next on Track by Track. Hey everybody, my name is Kyle and this is Track by Track, music reviews, news, and commentary. Thanks for tuning in today, and if this is your first time here, please take a second to click subscribe so that you won't miss future reviews and more. You know, January is typically a pretty slow month in terms of noteworthy new music, but 2019 has proven to be the exception. I've already talked about new singles from The Killers and Ryan Adams here on the channel, as well as the surprise new covers album from Weezer. Today, I want to touch on new music from two more acts that I think are definitely worth your attention. First off, we've got the first official single, or singles, from the upcoming new album from Vampire Weekend. It's been 6 years since their last album, Modern Vampires of the City, and as a big fan of all three of their albums so far, it's been an agonizingly long wait. Now we know that album number 4 is titled Father of the Bride and will be released in April. The band has described this as a double album, which is a bit misleading. The runtime for the album's 18 tracks is about an hour, and it'll span 2 discs on vinyl. Obviously, though, that's easily a single CD worth of material, so, you know, call it what you want, I guess. In any case, the band plans to release 2 songs a month in advance of the album release. The first installment of the Vampire Chronicles is the songs Harmony Hall and 2021. Now, I'll admit I've been concerned about the future of Vampire Weekend following the departure of Rostam as a full-time band member. He's still contributing to a couple tracks on the new album, though, including Harmony Hall. Straight away, let me say that hearing this song for the first time felt really good. It's such a welcome return for this band, and the track has so many of the hallmarks of their sound that fans love. Take the guitar loop the track is built around, for example. It has that kind of world music vibe to it that has given so many of their previous songs such an interesting flavor. I've always felt like the band channels a bit of Paul Simon and Talking Heads in their songs, and I hear that on Harmony Hall as well. Still, there's aspects of the song that took me a few listens to warm up to. I find the rhythms on the song to be a bit cliche. There's more than a little of a 90s Manchester sound to the chorus of the song, and that's majorly reinforced when the piano kicks in. It starts to sound a little like Soup Dragons or Stone Roses. Now, that's not bad necessarily, but it does kind of take me out of the vampire world. On so many previous Vampire Weekend songs, I've felt like from top to bottom they were wholly unique sonic experiences, a sound only this band could deliver. With Harmony Hall, it seems like the band is borrowing ideas and sounds a little more than I'd expect them to, making the track at times feel like a remix, as if we're not actually hearing the original album version yet. I still enjoy the song a lot, though. I think it's a solid jam, and it gets me excited to hear more. But I'll keep my expectations in check. Speaking of hearing more, there is a second new Vampire track, which essentially serves as the B-side to Harmony Hall. 2021 is a much quieter track in comparison, as well as being much shorter at just over a minute and a half. On the one hand, this song definitely strikes me as an album track rather than a single. It's more of a mellow tone poem with sparse instrumentation and a vocal sample from an unrecognizable Jenny Lewis. The song is about as far from being a banger as you can get, and to that end, it actually contrasts well against Harmony Hall. On the other hand, any of the reservations I may have had about the band's musical choices on that A-side completely vanish on 2021. This song feels completely like Vampire Weekend to me. The rhythm is simple yet exotic, and the double-tracked guitar line feels magical and otherworldly. Now, to be fair, I fully expect this band's sound to evolve, particularly following the departure of a key band member. Harmony Hall sounds like a band in evolution, and I'm curious to hear where they're going. But 2021 is a song that feels firmly grounded in the vampire mythology. I think that kind of thing may provide a compelling mix on the new album. And while this B-side may not be as exciting as the single, it actually helps balance out the musical experience. Harmony Hall is a better song for being paired with 2021, and vice versa. So, color me excited for the new album. Not so much for the cover art, though. I really did love the photographic approach on the first 3 albums. All right, moving on, we get yet another two-track single, this time from Florence and the Machine. Unlike Vampire Weekend, we weren't expecting new music or a new album from Florence. Certainly not so soon after last year's High as Hope, an album that I ranked in my top 10 for 2018. But that's one of the benefits, shall we say, of the evolution of the music industry to streaming music. Bands can essentially release new music whenever inspiration hits them rather than having to tie it to an album's promotional cycle. In the case of Moderation, we're getting the studio version of a song that's been featured in the Florence and the Machine live set on the recent tour. So if you've seen them in concert, this one may sound familiar. In fact, if you did hear this song live, you were probably even more excited to see it get released as a single because you already knew this is a banger. I mean, seconds into this song, I was hooked. Florence comes roaring out of the gate with the ferocious lyric, "Want me to love you in moderation? Do I look moderate to you?" From there, things escalate quickly as Moderation reveals itself to be a full-on piano stomper, accented by pounding bass drum on the verses and a dark, angelic choir on the chorus and bridge. And while I don't think this song necessarily sounds like a 007 theme, somebody please send this track to the James Bond movie producers as a sort of audition piece, because we have got to get Florence and the Machine over the opening credits on the next one. I can't imagine a better fit. Meanwhile, the B-side to Moderation kind of works in the same fashion as the pair of Vampire Weekend tracks. Haunted House slows things down considerably from the relentless pace of the A-side. Both songs are piano-driven, and both songs play predominantly in the lower octaves, but that's where the similarities end. There's a glassy and delicate feeling to the song and its haunting vocals. No pun intended. And where the aggressive instrumentation took center stage on Moderation, Haunted House puts Florence's voice firmly in the spotlight. The layered vocal harmonies are as lush and exquisite as ever. Like 2021 from Vampire Weekend, I've referred to this track as the B-side of the single. In a similar way, Haunted House comes across like an album track. On its own, it probably wouldn't be enough to get people super excited. Paired with a great A-side, though, it's very satisfying. But as far as we know, that's really all that's going on here. There's no new album out in the new year. Either way, they're a welcome addition to the Florence and the Machine discography. In terms of ratings on these two singles, let me say I really enjoyed both releases to a very similar degree. I'm anxious to hear the next two single releases from Vampire Weekend, presumably in February and March, not to mention the whole album in April. This first pair of songs definitely makes a positive impact, even if they are slightly imperfect. As for Florence and the Machine, I think Moderation slightly edges out the other songs I've talked about today to take the prize for Best New Music. But there's no losers here. That's why I'm giving both singles from Vampire Weekend and Florence and the Machine an X rating of 8 out of 10. Both acts are front-loading 2019 with some impressive new music. Let's hope that the rest of the year is just as strong, or stronger. Once again, my name is Kyle, and this has been Track by Track. If you like this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up. Plus, check out some of these other videos below that I think you might also enjoy. And of course, be sure to subscribe, because true music fans always want new releases the day they come out. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.